Hello, so today is going to be a fun little Jinx Wukong game again. So this was a VOD from a couple days ago, and Jinx Wukong is still very strong. I think I talked about it a lot. I've talked about it a lot like over the last couple of streams and days, VOD reviews, just like if you haven't been trying it out, because I understand that other regions really don't look too highly on it. I do think it's very, very powerful. I see Combat Caster here. There's a good chance that I can just try and play towards Callista. That's usually how my Jinx spots go. Jinx Wukong, I like it a lot because a lot of times you can flex pretty nicely to play towards Fairy. And then if you don't want to play Fairy, you could just play towards Jinx Wukong instead. And it works out really nicely a lot of the time. So here I'm just looking. Witchcraft Emblem I really don't like to take. So I'm probably just going to take Combat Caster and hope for the best. Combat Caster, if you don't know, is one of the best performing augments for Callista. Callista Rakan, which I know everybody has seen 1,000 times. The nuance part of Callista Rakan is understanding like certain enabling augments, making it like giga broken, and that's how you see Callista Rakan still get first almost all the time. It's usually if they hit something, either Little Buddies, Avenge the Fallen, Combat Bandages, or Combat Caster. Combat Caster I think being the best out of all of those. You can really angle yourself towards Callista Rakan. So that's what I'm kind of thinking here. I start out with a bow and a cloak chainmail, so I can make Gargoyle as well as a Guinsoo. So ideally, taking Combat Caster, I'm kind of angling more towards that Callista line. Like I said before, though, this is going to end up being a Jinx. This is going to end up being a Jinx Wukong game. So eventually, I will pivot into that line. It will probably come at the nature of just finding a Wukong, finding a Jinx, and seeing that's uncontested. This is what usually happens in my games. You always have to kind of quote-unquote default to Callista if you don't have a good reroll spot. And then if you stumble across Hunters and playing around Jinx Wukong, you can pivot into that line. Of course, if you don't have a really strong opener for a lot of the 3 costs, there's a good chance you're just going to end up with like a 3rd/4th. That's totally fine though. I'm always down to just farm 4ths. That's like my kind of play style. I'm never trying to get like the optimal play for first every single game and at the mercy of like maybe going bot 4 because of it. So I'll usually say, okay, what's my most consistent EV here? What's my least risk that I either minimize my losses or maximize my gains in this particular setting? I'm more of like a minimize loss kind of guy. But anyways, so I start out, I find a Kog'Maw, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can slam items in a little bit. But like I said, I'm usually these first couple rounds, I'm just trying not to be too weak. But I'm more angling that I might just sack the first couple rounds, guarantee that I have a Guinsoo, right? Guarantee the a lot of times it's a little bit awkward. I usually just guarantee at least one Guinsoo because I've had games where I don't get dropped a single rod. A lot of times though, if you start with a bow, the chance are you will get dropped a rod. Some people take double bow early game, just because like you want to have double Guinsoo on Callista if you're playing around that Callista Rakan line. That's like the best items you could have. But I'm careful. I don't want to slam an item because there's some people that look really weak. So I don't want to slam Gargoyle really early, and at the same time I don't want to slam I don't want to like level and push anything because I'd like to lose these rounds to make sure that I guarantee my carousel pick. As you can see here, I just sell both to make Econ. I know that Twitch is a hunter. I wasn't thinking about playing Jinx Wukong very heavily. I was thinking more towards the Jinx Wukong line at this particular moment. I sell the Twitch because as much as I would like the Twitch, because you need him for later if you are playing Jinx Wukong, it's one of those one costs that you have to hold on to. What's more important is making Econ. As you can see, I made it to 20 gold here. 20 gold is very important. It makes it so that I make an extra gold the next turn, and I want to lose anyways, so I don't care too much about sacking. There was an argument that maybe I can sell Kog'Maw and play the Twitch instead, something like that, because Twitch might be harder to find later, but I'd rather just hold on to the more expensive unit. Especially since, like, I know there's already a Honeymancy player, but I might be able to play towards those Honeymancy lines as well. Here, I should probably take... Oh, what am I taking? It's bow... Ooh, I took Cloak Rod. Okay, that was a mistake. I think I just didn't see it. So, over there was a Zillion that had a complete Guinsoo. So, I don't know what it is. This Victor champ dude took a bow rod. It was definitely bow rod on carousel. So that's a fairly big mistake. This guy looks like he's playing Callista towards Fairy line, so I might end up playing something else. And here we go. We got dropped to Wukong, so we can just play around Wukong here. Yeah, I don't know why I took Cloak Rod. That was definitely a mistake. You take bow. It's the what's it called? It's the Galaxy loaded carousels where you get the extra components. It was definitely take rod bow. I want to make that very clear. I didn't even see it. It was probably, I'll be honest, I don't even think it was a decision mistake. I think I just didn't see it. I think I was just like not like, you know, maybe I was looking at chat. I said I just need a rod. I saw the first rod. I just took it. I didn't think about finding another bow. That's just oversight, right? That's like not being dialed in enough. But that's totally, you know, it's okay. The game. I don't think that's gonna be the reason that we don't get first in this game. A lot of people are really high value boards, or not high value boards. They have like really like insane win out conditions. There's a learning to spell mages guy who looks like he's angling towards Soraka, Seraphine, Reroll. So that board, mages into Wukong Jinx is actually very, very difficult, as well as Callista. Because if you get like a learning to spell and you have an early Vigor, or if you just have Seraphine and everybody else, they kind of just delete your front line, right? Whenever you're thinking about these boards like Rakan, Callista, or you're thinking about Wukong Jinx, in both cases, a lot of the times, you're just having like a solo frontline unit, right? In the Callista Rakan, it's the Rakan. With Wukong Jinx, it's the Wukong. So you're very heavily reliant on that frontline unit just being an infinite giga tank. And the person that absolutely busts the tanks out is if they have like a reroll comp with a shit ton of AP. Like there's learning to spell mages. Oh, this was something that I didn't notice. So I think I'm gonna grief my own streak here, which is really bad as well. There's a lot to talk about. This game's a little bit of a cluster already. A little bit of a clusterfuck. So here, I should have sacked this round to try and lose. But it's fine. You know, just start your win streak now, I guess. I have this Galio 2. I'm 30 gold. I'm in a decent spot. The Galaxy itself, like everybody's bored. Like I've been making econ because I sacked the first couple rounds. Most people are pretty poor right now. So it's actually okay to be like, you know, only 30 gold on Krugs. Because the other guy that was lose streaking was also only 30 gold. If that makes sense. I don't know if I should have made that Galio. I think like it just makes it awkward. I find the Jinx, I just sell instantly because I think Jinx is going to be a better item holder. And yeah, I'm just going to be playing Jinx Wukong. I have one copy of Wukong, one copy of Jinx. The only reason I'm not keeping my Callista option as open, this is fine for mid game by the way. It's probably my strongest mid game board. But it would be better for me to like, you know, keep Callista open. Just in case, like, you know, I end up hitting Callistas, I can play around the Callista for the late game as well. That's still an option with these items. Anyways, the other thing I wanted to say is that I should have tried to sack the last round to make sure that I had a full 5 loss streak, so it would have made me very rich relative to the rest of the lobby, and that would have put me in a lot better of a spot. Now, of course, I did make the mistake of, you know, I think I just misjudged. When I scouted that guy's board originally, he was learning to spell. With learning to spell, usually you're trying to get kills early. So I looked at his board. I didn't understand that he was the lose streaker. So I wasn't focused on his board. If you saw me, I was actually scouting the other boards. That's just an oversight by me. Again, this was probably like the first game of the day or second game of the day. It was just a good chance that I was just like not dialed in the first couple of rounds. Which happens to me a lot, especially when I'm streaming. Also, I'm not like super into the set anymore. I'm more like looking towards like set 13 and all of that stuff. So, you know, it's more just like doing the motions, keep the daily streak on the YouTube, give you guys something to watch and look forward to if you enjoy these videos. But I saw Runans here. I'm going to try and streak for some of this mid-game stage, which is fine. I just want to win a couple rounds because I lost so many in the early game. My econ's in a really good spot, right? Krugs gave a lot of gold, so now most people have reestablished their econ in a nice way. I start out with like a good amount of econ as well because I sacked the first couple rounds. So high voltage is useless. Apoc is pretty useless. Heroic grab bag's okay in some of these fights. I wouldn't mind heroic grab bag. But if I can, ooh, this is like awkward. I don't know if it's heroic grab bag or crown guard. I think I just take heroic grab bag. Ooh, and this is another game where I just hit a Wukong instantly. Combat caster into Wukong, upgrade instantly. That's so sick. Let's go. Yeah, I should just duplicate it. I should just duplicate it, honestly. This guy's gonna be annoying. Beast friend. This best friends augment, every time I see it, this beast friends, I feel like I lose every single time. Okay, so in my board construction for mid game, So what I'm doing here is I'm playing Katarina. Katarina is okay in the mid game because she does a little bit of anti-heal built into her kit. So I'm playing the Katarina to try and get a little bit of anti-heal, so some utility on my board. I should probably put the Twitch closer to the Jinx just to give that a little bit more value. This is just not going to go well, this Beast Friends augment. Every single time I fucking play it, I have a Wukong 2 and I can't out-tank the Blitzcrank 2, you know what I mean? It's like a 1-cost 2-star versus a 3-star 2-star. Nah, he's 5 Honeyman C Beast Friends. Doesn't matter. Just so much damage. But we hit an early Olaf, which is great. I should buy it for sure. And then I should put in Nomzi. Yeah. So now I have Twitch next to Jinx. So last round was a bit messy, but this is the board that I would want to play. For my mid game, I have Wukong in. I have Olaf. It could have been a Kog'Maw. I have Shyvana with the Nomzi because that gives me some anti-heal. That's what I was using Katarina for the previous turn. And then I have the Twitch next to the Jinx because Twitch has a little bit of built-in Sundering in his kit, so it's totally fine. Jinx Wukong is uncontested, so I'm pretty much committed to the line now because I hit Heroic Grab Bag. I would have loved to hit like a very strong combat augment. For example, if I hit something like, you know, if I still wanted to play towards Callista, something like Avenge the Fallen would have been really good. Crown Guard is okay, like a Crown Guard is an okay Wukong item, it's not bad. But I think I'd rather just take Heroic Grab Bag because you can high roll your mid game really hard. Besides that one Honeymancy player that's going to be very strong because he has Beast Friends, I should win pretty much every fight in stage 3 now because I have a Wukong 2 already. So I took Heroic Grab Bag. A lot of times you might want to greed your duplicators until the end of the game. Something you should always take into account is if I use my duplicator early, I win a lot more rounds. So the HP and the gold that you get from winning helps to compensate for the fact that's like, you know, you're not using your duplicators in the last possible minute to save up for that shit. Often, like, you know, like as you collect copies of the unit itself becomes harder to hit, right? Your first copy of Jinx is your easiest to find. The last copy of Jinx is the hardest to find because you already have bought 8 copies at that point. So a lot of times you want to keep the duplicators to like duplicate at the end. You don't want to use them too aggressively too early. Because Heroic Grab Bag gives me 2 duplicators, I'm basically down a gold augment if you think about it. Whenever you take a Heroic Grab Bag, other people are getting either combat, or they're getting econ, or they're getting something. It's more like a scaling augment. For me at least, I'd rather just use the duplicator on the Wukong early, because then all of these fights, I was expecting to win all of them. I know I lost against the one Honeymancy player, but I was expecting to win most of the fights, and that puts me in a good spot in both HP as well as econ. So here, I don't want to make a second Runans just yet. One Runans is pretty good on Jinx because like it can also help proc with the Hunter, and then with the Hunter bonus, she just does a lot more of a spread damage instead of just targeting one unit all the time. So Runans is one of Jinx's better items with Guinsoo, especially in this type of build. Ideally, I would like to make like a Last Whisper or something else along those lines that would help out my board a little bit. But for the time being, it's totally fine. So I'm greeting my items a little bit now. You could make double Runans here. There's an argument for it, but I'd rather wait because I want to make sure that I have at least a Wukong item. Target dummy's fine. The Olaf is pretty high roll, but at the same time, I rolled quite a bit on level 7. So last turn I decided to send it. The reason I was rolling so deep last turn was because I had Jinx pair. So I was trying to quickly match up the Jinxes to hit like a Jinx too early to guarantee like my 5 streak into stage 4. But as long as you usually like you'll see like a lot of times like if you're really rich after Carousel, it's a good interval to level up because it's like a perfect divisible by 4 amount of EXP to level up. So a lot of times after Carousel round, you level up, you roll a little bit, don't roll below 30 because then you'll grief your econ too heavily, and then you stabilize for the rest of the stage. Right, like if I had Jinx 2 here, I probably win this fight just because I would have more damage. I probably would have killed one of the backline units. But that's why I rolled. So, you know, as much as you might look at it and think that's kind of high roll, kind of low roll, I am pivoting into the Jinx angle, so it's a little bit awkward to play as per usual. But something that's really important to note is that I would consider this to be like, you know, average or low roll luck. This is what your games typically look like. You know, I used a duplicator on the Wukong. I rolled like... I don't know how much I rolled on. I rolled at least like 10-15 gold on to stabilize on 3-5 like after Carousel round. I didn't hit this Jinx 2 even though I was Jinx paired. it's a little bit awkward, right? I'm in a little bit of an awkward spot. Here I should definitely use my remover, by the way. I think I always forget to do this. I'm like shuffling my units around. Using remover is important because I might have to make a double Runans, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so it's probably Gwyn's. I would make Gwynsu even Shroud here, but let's see what I end up deciding to make. Oh, God. I mean, that's fine too. I think it's Gwynsu even Shroud. Yeah, I think that's a mistake. So even Shroud gives me Shred. I don't have anti-heal, but with Hunters, you have so much damage that anti-heal sometimes doesn't matter that much. So, like, right now, I think I was thinking to myself, like, I can make Morello Last Whisper, and then I have all my utility, and all I have to worry about is Wukong items. I think I would have been better off making Even Shroud. I think it would have made me a little bit stronger. Also, if you notice, I rolled so deep. Level 7, 30 gold, 4-1. This isn't a bad Jinx spot, but for how rich I was, I'm very far behind right now. So I only have 4 copies of Jinx and 4 copies of Wukong. I've rolled down to 30 twice now. So this was like after 2 sends, and I still am not that close to anybody. It's a little bit concerning. So we should expect that late game will probably fall off pretty aggressively. Like, this isn't a spot where typically you can play for first, is what I mean to say. And then it rolls Prismatic. Yuck. Oh. It's not roll the dice. Freaky Friday is sometimes okay. I think it's I don't know if it's Hunter Crown or a movable object. I'm actually gonna double check because I would want to know just so I can let you guys know. Augments. Hunter Crown is good, and then immovable. Yeah, a movable object is better in the stats. I'm pretty sure it's a movable object. I think you get bait. I get baited a little bit by 6 Hunter. I think I'm a bit too old. I'm a bit too archaic in the way that I look at things. Because I think a couple patches ago it was always Hunter Crown, but now I'm pretty sure it's not Hunter Crown anymore. So that's just my bad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a movable object. So that's probably a mistake. But I have Gargoyle, so it's a little bit awkward to know. Okay, so I go double Runans on Jinx, Last Whisper on Olaf, that's fine. I need to put in my 6 Hunters. I sell the Bard. I sell the Bard because I remember I was watching a couple streams. This guy has a Briar on level 8, by the way. It's like, what the fuck? So this guy's high rolling for sure. But anyways, I was watching some streams, and I remember this decision comes up a lot. And I think the consensus among a lot of the streamers that I watched, so Robin Songs and Dish Soap, and I think it was on the regionals couch as well when they were talking with Froden and T-Lides and somebody else. I think it's like you usually want to keep in Zillion for Frost. The Barden for Jinx doesn't make as much sense because Jinx has so much AD from 6 Hunter anyways that it's kind of like diminishing returns at that point. Which I think makes sense. I understand it a little bit because, like, looking at the stats, a lot of, like, stat boosting traits are pretty bad on Jinx and Wukong lines for the same reason. So I can get behind that. I'm rolling a little bit here. I don't know why I'm rolling so aggressively. Why am I rolling so much? I want to roll till 30. It's a bit weird. Why did I roll? I think I was rolling for Charm and then I just kept going. I feel like I don't have to roll here because I'm so far away from everything. So I roll Kog'Maw. I'm rolling for Charm, right? So 1 off Charm. It's component Anvil and it's 1 Wukong. So do I just decide to roll for a Charm again? I guess I'm just playing for placement already. Yeah, I guess so. I guess with 6 Hunter, I'm just thinking I'm playing for placement. So so the reason I rolled here is because I rolled for the first Charm and it was too expensive, the component Anvil, so I didn't want to pay for it. So then I rolled for a second Charm and then that one was also kind of useless. So now I'm just rolling for a 3rd Charm. And this one's good. I should just buy Earthquake. So I buy Earthquake and now 1 off Wukong, so I'm just going to send it. I could use the duplicator on the Wukong, but I said to myself I'll send it to 10 gold because if I find a Wukong 3, then I can save the duplicator to use on Jinx. But as you can see, this is the 3rd time I'm sending it to 0, and I'm still only 3 copies of Jinx. I'm not contested. There was a guy holding Jinx before, but he's playing Blasters. He just was holding Jinx for his mid game, which is totally fine. And then once again, I fight best friends. This guy hit the best prismatic he could have hit. It's fine, we beat him now, but like I said before, we're probably not going to beat him in the late game because he doesn't even have Kog'Maw 3 yet. This is like average luck. You know what I mean? This is like a very average Jinx Wukong game, so we're kind of expected to go like 3rd/4th here. And you always have to keep that in mind. You always have to keep in mind with this comp, when you play it, just like a lot of other rerolls, if you're not hitting really, really hard, really, really early, the point of reroll is that it's more consistent, right? It's more for like you play for placement, you hit like your board really fast, and you play around that. Or if you don't hit your board really fast, then you're just playing for placements, and there's like, you know, you can't go 8th because you save so much HP in your mid game, and you're stage 4 because you roll really aggressively. It's not very like 1st or 8th when you're playing reroll. So there's like an element of that to it, which is really important. I don't know if it's, I think it's Bloodthirst. I don't know if I make Bloodthirster or Warmogs here, by the way. I kind of like Omnivamp on the Wukong a little bit because I don't want my Wukong to die too soon. And my Wukong 3 is my only upgraded unit right now, so I think I just make Bloodthirster. Bloodthirster is good because you can always transfer to an Olaf later in the game. So I've actually been liking putting Bloodthirster as a tank item on some of these lines. But you know, maybe that's incorrect as well. My Olaf should also be on the opposite side because he's supposed to be shredding for my Jinx. That's just an oversight. Yeah, I should win against this guy. Yeah, we should be strong. We hit the Wukong really early. Oh my, that was close. We hit the Wukong really early, so we're in an okay spot. Eventually, if we hit Jinx, we can level for a Chrono unit. That's usually like the best +1 you can put in. Because with the Chrono unit, you then get a little bit of extra healing for your whole team, which is nice. This guy's going for fucking Varus 3, so that's something to look out for. This whole lobby seems very high roll. We have Learning to Spell Mage, which is probably gonna beat me. This guy has Briar on level 8. The other guy has Callista 2, Rakan 2, Milio, 7 Fairy on level 8. Just hit everything. And he has Radiant Guinsoo on it. That guy just hit Diana 2. Like, we saw it, right? Like, we saw on the side of the screen, like, some guy just hit Diana 2 as well. So, yeah, I think my decision-making here of just, like, I want to switch my Wukong to the, my Jinx to the other side, by the way. That's why I was moving the Olaf now. But I just wasn't fast enough. Like, I'm pretty sure, and this guy might cash out Sugar Crab. We just kind of gotta hope that we kill this guy off before he cashes out. Bro. Like, this lobby is pretty aggressive for what it is. Like there's very little placements you can gain. Because, like I said, like, you know, I'm so far behind on Jinxes. Right, if you look at my gold, right now I'm level 7, 30 gold, end of stage 4. Like, I didn't not make econ. Like, I did roll a couple times pretty aggressively, but for how much I rolled, I really did not find a lot of Jinxes. I did find a lot of Wukongs, right? I have a gold augment that's like use duplicators, which is a whole nother story. But like, for how much resources I had put into actually like hitting the units, I am very far away from Jinx. So we're gonna hope that, like, you know, the luck averages out and we have a shop with like a bunch of Jinxes here. Ideally around this time, especially if you have a heroic grab bag, you want to find yourself, you know, at the beginning of stage 5 is where you want to hit all of your 3 stars and then maybe level to 8. That's typically how the tempo of these comps usually work. You might hit 1 3-star in stage 4. That's usually a little bit of high roll, but you're not expected to hit everything initially on stage 4. You want to hit all of your 3 stars on stage 5. That's like the main idea. Okay, so what item can I make here? It's probably Protector's Vow, if I had to pick. Okay. Probably Protector's Vow. What am I going to make? Protector's Vow or Steadfast, I think. Or do I just make Bramble? Oh, I think maybe. Can I rescout that? Bramble might be good in the lobby. So what am I good against? Let's see all the threats, right? So I scout. This is interesting because there is a Learning to Spell guy. So Bramble, not Bramble. So that's 1 against Bramble. Then there's a Bramble, not Bramble. Bramble, because there's the shapeshifter guy. So it's 5 versus 2. So Bramble's actually pretty good. I mean, odds-wise, it's pretty good. So the reason Bramble gives you just armor, right? The thing is that 5 out of the 7 other people in the lobbies, there's 8 people including myself, are dealing AD damage. So Bramble's really good into like 5 out of the 7 people. So there's basically only 2 people that Bramble isn't better against. So this is a lobby where you can make Bramble. That's actually a really good... I feel like that's a good decision. I feel like that... for how bad I played some parts of this game, I feel like that's actually like kind of thought out of me. I know this is me in the past, but like, you know, I barely remember what I did this morning. How the fuck am I supposed to remember what I did a couple days ago? But I feel like that's like some offline Fenrir shit. That's like not something I do on stream. That's something I play... That's how I play offline. When I actually like fucking scout to see if the item is actually good in the lobby. Okay, I'm just rolling for charm here, as well as trying to find some Jinxes. Oh, I think I'm just sending it for Jinx. Yeah, that makes sense. It's 5-2. Oh my god, I'm still 2 off. Oh my god, that's a 50 gold roll down again. I'm not hitting Kog'Maw 3, I don't think. I should probably not make Kog'Maw. I have to check for positioning. Holy fuck, it's his low roll on the Jinx. We're now in low roll territory. I think we can all agree that I should have at least hit Olaf 2 if I'm not gonna hit the Jinx. You know what I mean? I saw Morgana because next in is probably gonna be a Chrono anyways. This guy has Smolder 2 on level 8. He did have a also, can we take a second to talk about this guy's high roll? Like, look at his board. He has a Briar on level 8, which he already hit. He's not leveling to 9, which you usually level to 9 with this comp, and he found a Smolder 2. The whole reason you level to 9 is because it's so unlikely to hit multiple copies of the same 5 cost on level 8. This guy literally rolled to 0 on 8, and he hit a Smolder. Like, I know he has a greater duplicator. He has one greater duplicator because of the what's it called, the new recruit. His prismatic augment gives him a golden dupe, but he found 2 Smolders on level 8. There's some games where you can roll like 100 gold and not find a single copy of a 5 cost that you need on level 8. This guy has 2 Smolders and a Briar instantly, and he doesn't even push level. He just stays on the same level. Bro, it's so high roll. Of course, he also was rolling for 3-star of a frontline. You have to get like 3-star Nico or something, which is totally fine. Like, I'm not saying this guy's a bad player. I'm just saying, like, how the fuck do you have 2 Smolders? Like, you know, he found a Briar and 2 Smolders on level 8. Like, I can't even find Jinx. I've rolled so much gold. I don't even have Jinx 3 and I have a duplicator on my bench. You know what I mean? Finally, we hit Jinx 3. I don't have enough gold to level this turn, so that's a little bit of a problem. So we'll see how it goes. The other guy hits Soraka 3. This guy has Dragon. Yeah, we're just gonna slide our way into a 4th here, right? There's a couple boards that I beat. There's a couple boards that I don't beat. We're just gonna slide our way in. See, so like this comp, we're probably better with Bramble. Hopefully we can win this fight, but I don't think we will. I think the Callista outscales us, and I don't think we can kill this. We need 3 items on Olaf is what we need. And our items aren't that great considering. It was, you know, like, we might be able to win actually. It's clone, right? Yeah, this is a clone diff. I don't think we beat this guy's real. I think this guy's real kills my Wukong before we kill the Rakan. But that's fine. Yeah, just based on lobby HP, we played our mid game pretty well, so we're gonna end up with like at least a 4th. Maybe there's some edge that we can get like a like some competitive edge to get to a what's it called, a 2nd maybe or a 3rd, but the chances are this is just gonna always end up being a 4th. I think like the learning to spell player, if they're stable and they hit everything, which I think they did by now, learning to spell is gonna outscale us as soon as we start stage 6. They're just gonna one-shot the Wukong anyways. Not to mention that I took Bramble because it's just favorable for the other matchups. The Smolder player already beat the shit out of us, so we're not beating that guy. Even if we have Jinx 3, it wouldn't change the outcome of that fight because he has Smolder 2. He just out DPSs. The Honeymancy guy beats us. So if you count out our fingers, that's 3 people that are probably going to beat our asses, right? So the best we can usually do is 4th. Sometimes you end up worse than that, but because we have an HP lead, the chances are we'll just lose to those players and then we'll just go fourth. Here I put QSS on Jinx. QSS is a really good Jinx item. So it's totally viable. We level to 8 here, and I just throw in the extra Preserver / Sugarcraft, which is going to be the Bard. So we get a lot stronger. This guy I'm pretty sure we beat. I don't think he has enough DPS to take down the Wukong. We also have Bramble Vest, so it's basically like a straight counter to this guy's matchup, which is great for us. Oh, this guy's also cashing out Egg. Like, what the fuck? This guy can also beat us. Because this guy's cashing out Egg as well. So we just gotta hope that he dies when he cashes out Egg. But as you can see, we're top of the lobby HP. That's the way you have to play these games. Okay, I'm holding on to Briar here because if that guy is Briar 2, then it's like Giga GG. But like I said, a lot of times, it comes down to your placement, at least. It doesn't come down to necessarily like the comp and like all of these other factors. A lot of times, also that guy with the Diana 2 on level 8 also pisses me off. How does everybody hit everything? It took me forever to find this Jinx. Like, what a crazy lobby. Regardless, whenever you're playing these games, it really matters to hit those tempo in the mid game, right? A lot of the placements that I got this game, you can credit back to me using the duplicator on the Wukong earlier. Remember what I was saying? Like, you know, sometimes, you know, you play against the Wukong. Also, wrong side against this Kog'Maw, but that's on my bad. Kog'Maw with snipers and Fishbones is just an absolute menace. If I was same side, I think I beat him. Yeah. If I was same side as this Kog'Maw player, I would have beat him this turn. But, you know, it's too hard to tell because you have to position around him and other people. So, you know, we lose a game for free. But anyways, a lot of the placements in this game, right, I already listed out. The Kog'Maw player probably beats me with best friends. The Smolder player beats me because they were high roll, and the Mages player beats me. The Smolder player just hit Briar 2 on level 8 as well. So, you know, this guy just rolling to 0 on level 8 every turn, and he just hits Smolder 2, Briar 2. Like, come on. And then, so those 3 players are always going to beat me. So, I'm probably going to end, like, maybe I could beat the Kog'Maw player sometimes, but I'm going to lose to those players most of the time. That's pretty obvious. They're just outcapped me, and it took me way too long to hit this Jinx. Right? If I hit this Jinx, like, with 50 more gold, like, if I had 50 gold right now, like, I high rolled the Jinx a little bit, I can be level 9 next turn, make my board a lot stronger, play either multiple Preservers, or Chrono, or fit in something else to make my board a lot stronger. But I didn't. So that, like, you know, it is what it is. Right? So, you know, we can't dwell on it too much. You know, it is what it is. Also, Kog'Maw should always be next to the Jinx, by the way. Kog'Maw gives attack speed to the Jinx. I think I just put them on opposite sides because I want to switch the Jinx or the Kog'Maw to make my pivots a little bit easier. So, either way. There we go. Now I can move the Jinx and she's going to be next to Kog'Maw. But anyways, what I was trying to say is, like, by me using that duplicator on the Wukong earlier in this match, I saved so much HP in my mid game that it put me in such a tremendously good HP advantage over a lot of the other players in the lobby, so that I can end up just sliding my way into this top 4. That's why you use the duplicators early sometimes. But as you can see, this guy just has way too much damage. Briar 2, Smolder 2, Varus 2. It's crazy that he hit everything, because if this guy low rolled a little bit and he just had like one of Smolder 2 or Briar 2, I might have even won this fight, because now I'm actually like decently upgraded and stuff. But it is what it is. We're just going to roll to 0. This is gain a temporary Dragon Claw. I looked at my team planner and I'm playing the Mage player. We made the Bramble not thinking about the Mage player too much because most of the lobby was AD. Remember, I talked about that decision a bit ago. So here, I'm just going to put the thing on the Wukong. Now, I could reforge the Bramble into another item because Bramble's not really going to do anything in this fight. So it's just on my bench here. I don't want to, I'm thinking about doing it, but I think it's just chalked. Because if I look at my Wukong and I see the initial damage from the Seraphine, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm beating this guy with Vex 3, Galio 3, Seraphine 3, Soraka 3. Right? If you want to look at it, this guy has learning to spell mages, and he has 2 more 3 stars than I do. You know what I mean? Like, the amount of gold that it took me to find this Jinx was very, very unlucky. But, you know, it is what it is. Totally fine. Like I said, these were the 3 or 4 boards that were always going to beat me. So we placed 4th. That's probably the best we could have done. If we managed our econ a little bit better, or if we high rolled a little bit harder, maybe. I don't think there was much we could have done with augment choice, right? I think even if we took a movable object, it would have come out to the same outcome. There was the one fight we might have been able to beat this Kog'Maw player, however. If we positioned same side as the Kog'Maw, we might have not died that one turn to the Kog'Maw player, and then maybe we can like sneak into a third. But that was pretty much it that we could have done differently, I think, at least. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully that was enjoyable. I think we're going to get some set 13 news for tomorrow. If not, then it'll be another VOD review / guide / something else. But set 13 content is on the way. So if you're looking forward to Arcane Season 2, I'm not a big League Head fan or League Lore fan because I didn't really do any of that. But, you know, if you're looking forward to that, then, you know, the next set's going to be Arcane themed. So there's a little bit of a delay in releasing information about it because they don't want to spoil anything about the premiere, so that's really exciting. But then we should start getting some information about set 13, and there'll be lots of reactions from me, and I'll be playing PvE. It's gonna be a week of PvE, and then we're gonna go straight into set 13. So, you know, if you want to learn about the new set and all of that stuff, make sure to stay tuned and check out some of the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your weekend / day.